I'm a White fan.
Welcome to this week's episode of Tracking the Wolves with me, yes, me again, your voice of the Wolves, Ben Root. Let's look back at a busy week in NSU athletics. Start on the hardwood as the basketball squads hit the road for a second straight week, this time taking the trip to Marshall, Minnesota and Sioux Falls. On the men's side, things went well for Northern as the guys went 2-0 to bump their record up to 9-3 in conference play this season. Men scored a season-high 98 points in a 98-90 victory at SMSU before downing Sioux Falls 65-54 Saturday. Seth Bichon tied a career high with 23 points against the Mustangs and poured in another dub against the Cougars. Shot 73% for the weekend, had 16 boards and 5 assists, and that was enough to get the senior the NSIC North Player of the Week award. Ty Storeston had a strong trip as well, racking up a career high 23 points at SMSU and then hit for another 10 at the Stewart Center. Men are still second place there behind the Moorhead squad at 11-1 in the NSIC North, and they're 3 games up on Duluth and St. Cloud, both sitting at 6-6 this season. The news, though, not so great for the women. The ladies suffered the upset of the season so far in a 53-52 loss at SMSU. Then they came up short to the Cougars, 58-51. Win for the Mustangs, only their second of the season. Northern out-rebounded for only the second time this season as well in that loss. NSU had a chance for the win, though, at the buzzer, but Devin Brecky's free throw line jumper was wide right. Rachel Krogman led Northern, 16 points, 9 boards for her. Paige Witashik dropped in 13 and Sadie Stotesbury popped in 10. Then Saturday, Northern gave up just 4 buckets inside the three-point line, but the great equalizer, as they say, did in the Wolves. Sioux Falls 14-35 from downtown, propelling them to the victory. Cougars turned the ball over only 5 times in the game, and Northern shot a season-low 32% to counter a +12 rebounding advantage. Megan Muchler led NSU with 12. Brecky hit for 11, and Stotesbury had another 10-point performance. Krogman with 9 points and 13 rebounds in the loss. Wolves fall to the same record as the men on the women's side. They're at 9-3 as well. Team still first, though, in the NSIC North by 2 games over Moorhead and Crookston. Of course, that Crookston squad coming to town this weekend. Moving to the mats, the wrestlers struggled in Kearney on Saturday down in Nebraska. They dropped a trio of duels. Guys lost to Lindenwood 41-6, Western State 46-3, and Colorado Mesa 50-3. Sean Havlovic highlighted the Northern performances. He went 2-1 on the trip. Joe Gomez had 3 tight battles. He won in overtime, he lost in overtime, and he had a 1-point loss as well. Grant Steen picked up the other victory for the Wolves. In the pool, NSU swim team did well at the Moorhead Invite over the weekend, along with the Wolves and Dragons were swimmers from Minnesota Morris and Concordia Moorhead. Kayla Sproles was the top finisher for Northern, took first in the 50 and 100-yard freestyle races, plus a second-place finish in the 200 free. Caitlin Rhodes turned in the top time in the 500 free and was second in the 200 fly, third in the 100 fly. And last but not least, the NSU track and field teams competed for the first time since December Saturday as they ran and jumped and threw in the Walks Arena there at the NSU Open. The Northern women won 8 events on the day. The men took home 10 titles. Women had 2 student athletes hit provisional marks Saturday. Gina Burley won the high jump in a new mark there, and Brianne Jackson set a new career best in the weight throw with an NCAA provisional distance. That's a look at the week's action from last week. We'll talk some more Northern sports and men's hoops coming up next right here on Tracking the Wolves.
NCAA championships are something special.
Filled with memories we will carry with us for the rest of our lives.
We ask that you cheer hard for your institutions.
Acting responsibly and courteously towards those around you.
In the spirit of sportsmanship, enjoy the game, and let's provide our student athletes, coaches, officials, and fellow fans the respect they deserve.
Welcome back here to Tracking the Wolves with yours truly, Ben Root, and time to talk some men's basketball on this edition of Tracking the Wolves. And joining us here out of Grand Forks, it's sophomore Mack Arvidson with us. How you doing, Mack?
Good, Ben. How you doing?
Pretty good. I always wondered, is Mack short for anything? Is it Mack Arvidson or I don't know, Daddy Mack?
No, it's not. I kind of get that a lot normally. I get it mispronunciated a lot. Normally, I'm either Mark or Matt, but it's just Mack.
Okay, so not like DJ where it's I can't remember Donald.
Yeah,
something,
Donald.
right?
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
You're from Grand Forks. What is it you'd like people to know about Grand Forks? What should we kind of know the basics there?
It's cold, and it's all about hockey. So if you're not into those two things, you're not really missing much.
So you didn't play any hockey when you're up there? So.
No, I was never on like an organized team, but I used to always go to the outdoor rinks when I was younger.
Okay, so you can skate better than like me, I'm sure then.
Well,
going once or twice.
I don't know about anymore, but maybe.
I was gonna say being taller too. I think it'd be tougher the taller you are, but then again, you get a guy like Chara, and he's what, like 6'8" or something.
Oh man,
so.
yeah, he's a big boy.
So,
yeah.
Looking back there, if somebody was to go visit, what's the best place to go eat in Grand Forks?
Probably my favorite place is a little local place. It's called Red Pepper. It's Mexican, sorta. They have like grinders and tostadas and tacos, but it's kind of a big thing for the younger crowd out there for sure.
Cool. We're being from North Dakota. I know, obviously no professional teams around here. We got Vikings fans, we got Packers fans that are complaining about what happened last week. Where does your fandom lie as far as pro sports goes? Is it all Minnesota or?
Yeah, unfortunately, I am a Vikings fan. Not so many perks with that, but it is what it is. But yeah, I cheer for the Timberwolves, the Twins.
Yeah, right now things. I thought the Wild were gonna have a good year, but
yeah.
So much for that.
Yeah.
But, well, how did you end up coming here to Aberdeen to play some hoops?
I'd say had some talks with Coach Sather and Sevi before my senior year. Kind of fizzled away a little bit, and then sent him a tape of mine, and we kind of picked it back up. And I think that was around the time when Ty got hurt for the first time, so we were down a guard, and they just were interested, and that's kind of how it kicked off.
Was it a difficult decision for you to come here?
Not really, no. I love the community support, and I love the coaches and the team when I was down here, so it kind of made it pretty easy.
Not a lot of places where you have such a big, arena and so many people.
Nice,
so,
yeah.
Well, lately this season you've been adding to your playing time, putting in some good minutes on the floor, kind of coming back from injury. What was the most difficult part about this whole process, I guess, of coming back from being hurt?
It was rough all around, basically, especially being someone that's never been hurt like that before. Just having to watch instead of being out on the floor was really just tested me mentally and tested my patience for sure, but I'm definitely just thankful to be back out there.
And it seems like you're you're really staying in shape. I mean, for the most part, from what I can tell, and to have an injury like that, I guess this just shows it doesn't matter what kind of, if you're in good condition or not, every once in a while something small can break or what have you, and you end up with something like that, right?
Yeah, just kind of, that's part of sports, I guess, just the way it goes.
Do you feel you're totally back in game shape right now?
I think so, yeah. I mean, there's nothing, you can train as much as you want, but there's nothing like being in a game and going up and down to get fully back into the shape for basketball.
I guess the cardio is the main thing, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I could never do that. I tried a couple times. Stick to volleyball. That's my thing. Halfway through the season right now, how pleased are you with how the team's doing?
I'm happy, yeah. I mean, we are sitting in a good spot right now. We just got to not be too comfortable, and we just got to stay focused and prepare for one game at a time and not overlook anybody, and I think we'll be all right.
Looking at the way the team's played, a good road trip this past weekend, where would you say you need to concentrate on for the future here?
I would say not giving open threes to really good shooters, because Southwest, they all can really shoot, and I think we gave them a few too many open shots. But then I think we came back against Sioux Falls, who's a really good rebounding team, and we ended up keeping them off the glass pretty well. And
it's funny, you get 2 wins and 2 totally different, scores up there, a 30-point differential. Do you have a preferred type that you like? You like the high scoring, or?
Fast-paced game is always fun, especially having like a scorer's mentality, as I do, I guess you could say.
When you first stepped on the court here at Northern, who was somebody that maybe took you under their wing to kind of get you started here at NSU?
I would have to say probably Ty Storston. He was injured at the time, but he was always giving me advice and helping out just a young freshman get through just the transition of going from high school to college.
And was the toughest part the actual game transition or maybe the classroom?
A little bit of both, but I would say I probably caught up with the classwork a little sooner, but it wasn't as big of a transition as I kind of expected. I kind of hyped it a little bit, I think, but.
I guess that's good. Then
yeah.
It's easier that way. Any special pre-match routines for you when you're having a game?
Just kind of do my own thing, go through my stretches, and just kind of try to stay calm and get ready.
Okay. So we get to wrap things up here with Mack Arvidson. How's the schooling going?
It's going good. It's going good. I got a sports marketing major, and it's really interesting to see all the other side of sports other than the actual game part. So it's really interesting to be into that.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of the student athletes are kind of going into that major or some aspect of it. What's been your favorite, I guess, project or thing you've had to do so far?
We go out and work like the Aberdeen Wings hockey games, and we just do different things around there for class. And I've done, I don't know, probably 4 different types of things at the arena, and it's just kind of fun to do some on-hands experience.
So that's the Grand Forks coming out in you, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
If you're on a road trip or stranded on an island, as I ask everybody, if you had 3 things you could pick, CDs, movies, or books, what 3 different things would you take to kill some time there?
For movies, I guess 3 things that come to mind would be like Coach Carter, Anchorman, and Django Unchained.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Mack.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks a lot, man.
Mack Arvidson there talking some men's hoops here on this edition of Track of the Wolves. We'll come back and look at this weekend's schedule next on this edition of Track of the Wolves.
We know you want family-friendly sporting events.
Sporting events where you can be comfortable
and entertained in a positive environment. Watching great individuals and teams compete.
with commitment, effort, and good sportsmanship. That's what the Division II Game Environment Initiative is about.
Be a part of the excitement and find out why. These student athletes say with pride,
I chose
Division II.
Welcome back to Track of the Wolves. Time now for a look into the future of Northern sports. This Friday and Saturday, time for Walks to Rock once again. Basketball teams get to enjoy a weekend at home after those 2 straight road trips. Wolves are going to host Bemidji State Friday starting at 6, follow it up with a visit from Minnesota Crookston Saturday starting at 5 o'clock. All 4 of the games can be heard, of course, at ESPN 1420, 1071, and on the web at espnaberdeen.com. Wrestlers are going to roll out to St. Cloud Friday, and then they'll take that lengthy trip all the way out to Fayette, Iowa Saturday for some action on the mats. And finally, the track and field teams are right back at it Friday and Saturday. They've got a visit to Mankato for the MSU Open. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Track of the Wolves. To stay up to date on the latest Northern sports notes, join me for another episode next week. And until then, as always, go Wolves.